Eminent speaker is Dr. Utpal Nandi. So I request Dr. Ajay Babu, please you introduce our speaker, Dr. Utpal Nandi, and then start the lecture.
Thank you, sir, for your uh, welcome to this first session of executive training program on Python. Actually, this session will start from just and it will take 1.5 hours. I request sir to strict with time for your presentation, sir. And our speaker presenting the topic fundamentals of Pythons. Now let me to introduce about few words about our speaker, Dr. Utpal Nandi. Now I describe the biography of Dr. Utpal Nandi. Dr. Utpal Nandi is an accomplished academic with 15 years of teaching and research experiences. He received MSc in Computer Science in the year 2006 from the Vidyasagar University and MTech in Computer Science and Engineering in the year 2009 and holding first position and gold medalist from the University of Kolani and obtained PhD degree in engineering in the year 2018 from the same university. Currently, he is an assistant professor at Vidyasagar University. His research focuses on deep learning for sign language recognition, plant disease recognition, hyperspectral image classification, image compression, and AI. Dr. Nandi has published over 62 research articles and holds 3 patents. He has received multiple awards, including Vidyasagar University's Research and Publication Award for the last 3 years and Best Paper Awards at the International Conference in 2023 and 2024. Now, I request Professor Dr. Utpal Nandi sir to start your presentation. Sir.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thanks. So, I am sharing my presentation. Is this slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Completely visible.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for introducing me. And I am very thankful to be a part of this 3 days executive program on Python organized by Raja N.L. Khan Women's College Autonomous in collaboration with Sridhar Acharya Academy of Mathematics and Science. So my topic of presentation is fundamental of Python programming. So this is the outline of my presentation. First, we will introduce Python with its expression, statement, data type. These are the basic syntax, and then we'll discuss about control flow statements. That means conditional if else, loop like for loop, while loop, and other control flow statement like break and continue, etc. Next, we'll describe about the functions and recursive functions also. And then, if time permits, we'll discuss about strings and files. So, Python programming, it is a high level programming languages, and we know we have heard several high level programming languages like C, C++, Java. Uh, for in 90s to 2000, they dominates. But recently, for the last 5 years, Python programming getting more popular. Uh, because its diversity in different applications. We can apply Python program in every areas. Uh, so initially, this programming language is created by Udo van Rossum and is released in 1991. Its first version, that is 0.9.0. So after that, uh, several versions has been released. After some times, new version comes. Initially, that versions are not popular, but recent versions, the after for the last 5 years, it getting more popular. And for the current year, its latest versions is 3.1, 3.7, and the core part of this programming language is very small, and we can learn this core part very easily. But when we want to work on a particular area, we have to additionally learn modules related to that particular areas. So first we have to learn the basic part, and then uh, uh, we want to work on that area, we have to learn that particular modules. Uh, hello, hello.
No, sir, please continue. Sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So there are some features of this programming languages. It is very easy to learn and use because it is high level languages. It uses English like structures, and uh, compared to other high level programming languages, you do not use any type of semicolons or second brackets. Instead, it use indentations that to block the codes. So, and the next feature is it is expressive languages. We can write simple codes for complicated problems. The next feature is interpreted languages. That means uh, this programming language is interpreted line by line. So as a result, we can debug the code easily, and it is cross-platform language. That means we can run the program of Python in any platform. That means uh, we may run it on Windows operating system or Linux or Unix, and that program can be uh, portable. That is, these programs are portable. We build a program in one platform and can be executed to another platforms also. So this is very interesting features. And the most important thing is that Python is free and open source. That means we can download freely Python, and we can also contribute to develop functions, modules to the Python communities, and it is open source. That means any code uh, we can download without any fees. So this is very popular features. Another is it supports also object-oriented program concepts. That means the it related to creating classes, objects. It supports other features of object-oriented programming languages like inheritance, polymorphisms, encapsulations, etc. So it is dynamic. It allow dynamic memory allocations. Like other programming languages, C, C++, we have to first declare a variable, then assign values to that variable. In case of Python, we don't have to declare that variable. We can directly assign a value to a variable. Uh, and when we assign a value to a variable, uh, it reserves memory space or allocate memory space at runtime. So it is dynamic. It support dynamic memory allocations. Then GUI programming support. It also support graphical user interface programming to develop desktop programming. And another feature is it is integrated. That means suppose we have some codes written in some other programming language like C, C++, Java. We can combine that code with our Python codes also. So this is also an interesting features of Python. That is why for last few years Python programming getting more popular, and it is used. It is in top rank in use. So there are several applications areas of Python programming. We are not going to the detail of that. These are web application, desktop GUI application, console-based application, software development, scientific and numeric applications, and business applications also, audio and video-based application, 3D CAD applications, enterprise application, image processing and applications. And today's trend, we are moving to uh, uh, the products based on AI. So Python is very suitable for that type of AI related job, AI related applications that uses machine learning, deep learning, cloud computing, IoT, etc. So Python programming is very well on that area. So we can run Python program in different softwares or platforms. For beginners or for learning purpose, we can use IDLE, that is Integrated Development Environment, supported by the official website of the Python. We can download from this websites this software IDLE. Uh, it is very lightweight. So for the beginners, we can use this software. Another is Jupyter Notebook for development purpose to develop software projects. We can use VS Code or PyCharm. For the data science or machine learning, deep learning related tasks, uh, we may use Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab. Um, for advanced users, we can integrate with Linux or Mac OS terminals with to work. So we'll use ideally initially here. So ideally, all modern programming, actually modern programming languages uses an integrated development environment IDE. So that integrated development environment allows us to write program on that and then edit that program, run that program, and if there exists some error, it shows error, help us to detect error, also edit and then again run that, save that program. So this is done by IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So in case of Python, also there is a IDE that is called IDLE. That is called IDLE. So this software we can download from the Python's original official website www.python.org. So we can download easily. It is obviously free, and here we find two type of window: output window and editor window. Output window is like Python shell that uh, this Python shell actually is used to create few variables. This is the Python shell given here. This is the Python shell. Uh, so here we can create some few variables, perform some basic manipulations on them, that is addition, subtraction. So and mainly it is used to serve as the output window for programs. And when we want to write program, we have a window is called editor window. So editor window is actually used for writing program. This is the editor window. Here uh, we write program and then save that program and then execute that program also. So uh, this ideally is very easy to use, and it is lightweight. Uh, uh, Before going to write program, we have to know some basic syntax, basic ideas, basic terminologies on that. So first we will go through that terminologies before going to write programs. Uh, One such terminology is identifier. Identifier is basically the names that are given to different parts of the program. That means we want to give the name of the variable, name of object, class, function, or some data types like list, dictionaries, etc. So these names are called identifiers in a programming languages. So uh, we cannot give any type of name uh, as identifier because there is some rules and restrictions. So identifier should be a long sequence of letter and digits, and obviously the first character must be a letter, and it also supports underscores. So first character either it is a letter or it is a underscore. Uh, it cannot contain any special characters like asterisk or dollar or has uh, at the rate, like that. We cannot use this type of special character in identifier. And identifier must not be a keyword. Keyword is basically some reserved word that is used in any programming languages that have some predefined meaning. So here are some examples of valid identifiers. So s underscore score, return value, uh, name one, my book. These are valid identifier, but we cannot use this as identifier. We cannot use at the rate code and return because return is a keyword. One image, the first letter, first character should be a letter, so it is not valid. My book, there is a space in between these two words. Space is also not allowed as identifier. So when we give name to variables or functions or list, dictionaries, we should follow these rules. Next, keywords. As I say, in any programming languages, there is some reserved word that have some predefined meaning, and we cannot use this reserved word as identifiers. So this there is some example of this reserved word: false, await, else, import, pass, none, break, etc. So we have to keep in mind that we cannot use this as identifier. Statement. So statement is basically an instructions that a Python interpreter can execute. For example, here a is equal to 10. It is an assignment statement, and this is a single line statement. There is also a multi-line statements, and we can write this multi-line statement using two ways, using explicit continuations, and that uses actually continuation character this. Suppose we want to write these expressions: addition is equal to 10 plus 20 plus slash 30 plus 40 plus slash 50 plus 60 plus 70. So using this symbol we can write a statement in multiple lines. There is another way we can also use parenthesis, that is the first bracket. Addition is equal to start first bracket and write some expressions and remaining in the next lines, and then close the parenthesis. So we can do it using two way. Next, expressions. So expression, we can say it is a single value, or it may be a value variable, a combinations of value, variable, and operator. This is 1 plus 4 star 3. There's two operators and three values. There is another expressions. It is variable. This is operator and this is value. So expression is basically, it may be a single value or it may be a combinations of value, variable, and operators. Uh, and expressions by itself does not do anything, because these expressions are evaluated. We have to store the values of evaluated result to a variable. So that's why this there should be a variable that stored that value of these expressions. During evaluations of any type of expressions, there may be a possibilities here also, uh, two operators, plus and star. So during the evaluations of these expressions, which operation will be performed first? 1 plus 4 or 4 plus 4 star 3s. This is multiplication operation. Star indicates multiplication operation. Which should be done first? That is known as precedence. That means precedence actually determine the order in which operations are to be executed or computed. There are some higher precedence operators that are for multiplication, star comma slash for division. This is for remainder operations, and double star for exponential operations. Sorry, power operations. Hello, hello.
Please
Sir,
continue.
continue, sir.
Okay, okay. And uh, then that is the these are some higher precedence operators, and these are lower precedence operators. That means when we evaluate an expression, for example, 1 plus 3 star 4, this is high precedence operator, so we have to perform these operations first, then these additions. So the result is 13. But if we need, we have to do 1 plus 3 first. We can also do this by using a parenthesis. So if we use parenthesis, it will work first. That is 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, 4 star 4 is equal to 16. So this type of precedence we have to remember. Now the variable is basically a named piece of memory, and that is used to store some values and to compute expressions results and store the values of the expressions, and the values will be used for later use also. So in Python programming language, we do not need to define variable in advance. Like in case of other programming language like C, C++, Java, etc., we have to first define the variable. That is its type. We have to define int a, etc., float a, b, etc. Here we have to directly assign a value to a variable, and when we assign a value to a variable, it automatically declare. For example, if we assign a value, uh, this is a string tracking box is assigned to that variable name, then name is considered as a string variable. So we do not have to define it first, then assign values. Again, we assign 10 to a variable height. So after assigning that values, height act as an integer variable. Similarly, here also we assign a floating point number to a width. That means after assigning that values, width act as the floating point variables. There are different data types that support Python programming is number type, string, and some list, tuple, dictionary, etc. This number type has also divided into three type of data, that is integer, floating point, and complex. So integer we know it store integer values. It may be positive or negative. So if we assign a is equal to 5, so a is an integer variable. Here also float, that means floating point number. It may be positive or negative, but it is floating point number. For suppose 40.5 is assigned to b, that means b is a floating point variable. It also support complex numbers, that is in the form of a plus iv or bi. So here, for example, c is equal to 1 plus cj. That means c is a complex type variables. It has a real part and also an imaginary part. Now, a function that is used to display any message or expressions is called print functions. Like any other programming language, you should have to display the results to use that function. This is the syntax of print uh, function. Print within the first bracket within double quote this message. If we want to display some strings, then we should use a double quote. If you want to display expressions or a variable, then we have to give it directly without any code. We can also display multiple items using a single print functions. So print within the first bracket item 1, comma item 2 up to item n. So we'll use comma for multiple items. For example, here we print hello world, age is equal to 45, print you have 65 minus age, that is 65 minus 45, 20 years till retirement. So it will display, for this line it will display hello world. For this print it will display you have 20 years till until retirement. Next, input. How can we give input from the keyboards? So we'll use input function. So it read data from keyboard, and this is the syntax. We have a variable is equal to input, what is your name. When we use this function, it will take values from keyboard as a string variables. So if we want integers, we have to convert this string into integers. Suppose we want to uh, take two values for additions. Suppose we want to need 5 and 10. Okay, these two integers. So when we use this function input, it takes 5 as string. So we have to convert this 5 into integers. How? We'll use int function, and if you want to convert it from string to floating point number, we'll use float. So to read an integer, we'll use this. This is the variable is equal to int input enter an integer. So it will display this message enter an integer. If we give some integer value, that integer value is initially taken by input function as string, and these are converted by integer using int function and stored in variable n. So n stored 5 and is a integer variable. Similarly, we can take float, that is floating point number. Instead of using int, we have to use float. So this is a simple program. Uh, we can show it using our ideally editor. Uh, so is this ideally editor is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I say, there is two window in ideally editor. This is a Python shell. Uh, we can write some simple commands, and mainly it is used to display the results. So if we want to write program, we have to open another window, open sorry, new new option, and we can write here some programs. Suppose print, very simple program we want to write here, um, like that. So if we want to run, first we have to save it, uh, and then we run it. So it display welcome. This window is the Python shell showing the results, and this is where we write the code. If there exists some error, it shows some error, we can also edit that program and then again run that. Now operators, Pythons also support different type of operator like arithmetic operator, uh, logical operator, comparison operator, assignment operator, weightage operator, membership operator, etc. So first, the arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operator, that means it uh, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, remainder, exponent. So like other programming language, it is almost this is similar with C and C++. We use plus symbol, minus symbol, plus for addition, minus for subtraction, slash for division, star for multiplication, and percentage for remainder operations, double star for exponent operations. So next, comparison operator. This operator is used to compare two values or two expressions, uh, equal for to compare that two values are equal or not. We will use double equal. That means here 4 double equal 5. Uh, so 4 is compared with 5. They are not equal. So it will return false value. Not equal, 4 not equal 5, so it will return true value. Similarly, greater than, less than, greater than is equal to, less than is equal to. So greater than is equal to means if this value is greater than this, then true or equal to, then true. So if it is the first one is greater or equal to, then it will return true value. If both are false, then false. Similarly, less than is equal to, if the first value is less than or equal to the second value, then it is true. So these are comparison operator. Now we have assignment operator. Is equal to is assignment operator. A is equal to 10. That means 10 is assigned to a variable A. Similarly, we have addition assignment. A plus is equal to 5. What is the meaning of this? Meaning is A is equal to A plus 5. We can write this using A plus is equal to 5. This is also a valid statement, but we can also write in this way. Similarly, for subtraction assignment, A minus is equal to 5. That means A is equal to A minus 5, A star is equal to 5, A is equal to A star 5, A double star is equal to square. That means 2 is that means A is equal to A double star 2. That is A square. Similarly, here floor division, A double slash is equal to 3. That means A is equal to A double slash 3. Floor division means it will uh, calculate the quotients in integer, nearest integer form. That means suppose we divide 5 double slash 2, so it will give the result in integer form, that is 2. The result is 2.5, but it will give the nearest integer, that is 2. Bitwise operator. Bitwise operator actually work on bits. So, for example, A is equal to 60 and B is equal to 13. As this is represented in binary as this, 13 is represented by this. If we apply this bitwise AND operator, that then the first LSB bit position and these LSB bit positions, they perform AND operations on these two bits. Similarly, second bit positions and the second bit positions of another numbers, they perform AND operations. AND operation means if all the values are 1, then output will be 1, otherwise 0. So in this way, bitwise operator actually perform the operations on each bits of the two numbers. Similarly, OR operation is represented by this symbol, perform bitwise OR operations, and bitwise XOR operations. This is the symbol. Binary ones complement. This is the symbol. And binary left shift. This is the symbol. During left shift, the right, there is a vacant position in the right uh, 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 LSB bit positions. This will be filled up by 0 values, and the left MSB bit will be lost. And this is for binary right shift operations. During right shift operations of bits, the LSB bit is lost and the most significant bit position will occupy 0 value. Logical operator, and uh, the logical operator is actually if we want to combine more than one logical expressions, we can do it using uh, that AND logical operator or logical operator, not logical operators. For example, A and B. So this AND is a logical operator. If A is true and B is true, then this expressions is true. Otherwise false, because it is AND operations and logical operations. If both the expressions are true, then this expression will be true. If any of this A or B is false, then this expression's value is false. Here, or logical operator, if any one, either A or B expression is true, then this expression will be true, otherwise false. So if both these expressions A and B are false, then the entire expression becomes false. And not means if the expression is false, it will convert it to true, and if it is true, then it will be converted to false. Another operator is membership operator. There are two membership operator, in and not in. So 5 in 1 2 3 4 5. So it will return true because 5 belongs to this here. Uh, if we say 10 in 1 2 3 4 5, then it is false. So membership function checks if a value exists in a list or not. Similarly, here not in, it will check that 5 is not in this list of values or not. So it will do the reverse thing, that is, if 5 not in this list, then it will return true value. So in this case, it will return false because 5 exists in this list. During when we write program, we may write comments to explain the Python code, so that when we see later that comments, we can understand why we write this code. Uh, so comment is very good. We should use comments uh, for later use to make easily understand the code, why we write that code. If we mention in the comments, it will help later. So we can write single line comments using hash. So if we use hash to write comments, but if you want to write multiple lines command, we have to use this symbol. uh, Within this symbol, we have to write multiple line commands. Another program, uh, we can we have no due to the limitations of time, we cannot execute all the programs in the editors. So I have just shown here. So this is very simple program. We want to add two integer numbers. So if we want to add two numbers, what are the input of this program? We have to take two integer values, and then the output is the sum. So uh, we take two variables a and b and use this expression, read data from keyboard. Enter the first number. The first number will be stored in A. The second number will be stored in B in integer form. That we have converted the number in integers, and then simply uh, evaluate. Uh, that is, perform the addition operations A plus B. Print sum A comma A plus B. Sum is a string. It is in the double quotes. So similarly, we just replace plus by minus for subtraction, and star for multiplication, slash for divisions. Another program to find the largest among three numbers. Very simple. Largest among three number, that means we there should be three inputs, and it will and display the largest numbers. So we have taken three inputs using the same methods and stored in variable a, b, c, and then use a function max to find out the maximum among these three numbers, and print maximum number is, it will evaluate the maximum number and display. We can also logically find out the maximum numbers after knowing if else statement. We can do it. Another program is to find out square root of a number. This is import math. It will import math library where actually the definitions of different math operations is stored. So we don't have to write that functions because we have imported math library where the definitions of this different type of math operations uh, are already available. So we have imported that. Then to calculate square root of a number, what is the input? We should give a number as input and we get the square root. So here we have taken a number and stored in variable n, and then just call the function s2 at math.s2 n. So it will calculate the square root of that number and display. The next portion we'll discuss control flow statement. So control flow statement, it has mainly three parts: conditional statement, transfer statement, and iterative statement. Conditional statement, that means we will discuss if else, if else, nested if else, and in transfer statement we'll discuss break, continue, etc. And iterative statement means loops, that is for loop, while loop, etc. So first, if statement. If statement, uh, the it executes a group of statement only if a certain condition is true. That means we have to give a condition. If that condition is true, then only the statement or a group of statement will be executed, otherwise not. This is the syntax of if statement. If is the keyword, and then we have to give a condition here. If this condition is true, then a statement or group of statement will be executed. If it it is false, it goes out of the if statement. The next statement after if statement will be executed. So there is two possibilities. If condition is true, then the statement or group of statement within that if condition will be executed. If it is false, then these statements are not executed. It goes to the next statement after if conditions. So this is the flowcharts that already explained that here is a condition. If it is true, it execute a statement or group of statement here, and then goes to the next statement after if conditions. If it is false, it goes to directly to the next statement after if statement. Here is an example. GPA is equal to 3.4. If GPA greater than 2.0, this is the condition, then it will print your application is accepted. So if we assign GPA is equal to 3.4 already, and then check if GPA, that is 3.4, greater than 2, so this condition is true, because 3.4 greater than 2.0. So it will display this message, your application is accepted. Next, if else statement. In this case, if and there is a conditions like similar if conditions, and there is a statement or group of statement. If this condition is true, then it execute this statement or group of statement. If it is false, then it goes to else part. It goes to else part if this condition is false, and there is a statement or group of statement that will be executed. So there is two possibilities. If the condition is true, these statements are executed. If condition is false, this statement or group of statement is executed. Similarly, the flow charts here, then the condition is given here. If it is true, it execute a group of statement here and then goes to the next statement after if else statement. And if it is false, then it execute another group of statement of a statement and then goes to the next statement after if else statement. This is another example here. GPA is equal to 1.4. If GPA greater than 2.0, GPA is 1.4, 1.4 greater than 2.0 is false. So it goes to the else part, and there is a statement print your application is denied. That means this message will be displayed. But if we set here 3.4 or some bigger value than 2.0, then this condition will be true and it will display, it will execute this statement and display welcome to Mars University, etc. Next, if else statement. So we can use multiple conditions here. The syntax is if, then a condition is given. If it is true, then it will be this statement or group of statement will be executed. Then elif keyword is used and a condition is given. This condition is checked. After this, if this condition is false, it goes to check these conditions. If this condition is true, then it executes this statement or group of statement. In this way, we can use this multiple times. Elif can be used multiple times as required. And at the end, if all these conditions are false, it goes to else part and execute a statement or group of statement here. Then nested if else statement is basically we can we can keep a if else statement within another if else statement. So this is called nested if else statements. Here an example is given here to find a data number between two numbers. So we have taken two numbers stored in these two variables, num1, num2, and now this is the outer if, and its else part is this. Within this if there is another if else. So if number 1 is greater than is equal to num2, and within that if both the numbers are same, then it will display number 1 and 2 are equal. And within that is if else part, we can write number 1 is greater than number 2, because we can enter here if the number 1 is greater than or equal to number 2. So there is two possibilities, and here we are checking number 1 is equal to number 2. If it is true, then it will display both numbers are equal. Otherwise, number 1 is greater than number 2, because initially we have tested that number 1 is either is greater than or equal to number 2 is true, then we can enter this area. But if it is false, it goes to else part. A number is not greater than or equal to number 2, then obviously number 2 is greater than number 1. So number 1 is smaller than number 2 will be displayed. This just shows how we can use nested if else statement. Using that if else, we can write multiple programs. Here is another simple program that will check a number is odd or even. So we have taken a number and stored in variable a. Now we'll check the number is odd or even with very simple logic. We can divide a number. If the remainder is 0, then it is even number. If the remainder is non-zero, then it is odd number. So here, if a modulo percentage 2 not is equal to 0, this actually calculates remainder. So a is divided by 2 and its remainder is calculated by percentage sign. So is not is equal to 0. That means um, there is a remainder. So when a number is divided by 2 and there is a remainder, then the number is actually a odd number. It display this message. And if it is false, then it goes to the else part and it display the number is even. So this is an example where we write a program where we use if statement. Next, iterative statement, that means loops. We use loops because suppose we want to write same message 1,000 times. So we have to write print statement 1,000 times. So if we use loop, we can do it using clear line of codes. So that means loops are used to repeat a block of code. If we want to repeat the same, want to execute a statement or group of statement multiple times, then we can use loops. We do not need to write the same statement or group of statement multiple times. We can keep this statement or group of statement in a loop. The loop will execute that statement or group of statement multiple times as required. So there are mainly two type of loop, is for loop and while loop. For loop, when we know the number of iterations, that means how much time the a statement or group of statement will be executed. If you know that, we'll use for loop. That suppose we want to display a message 100 times, so it is known to me that the statement will be executed 100 times. So the one executions in loop is called one iteration. So there is 100 iterations. We know the number of iterations, so we'll use for loop. In case this is the syntax of the for loop, we have to use the keyword for, then a variable name, then another keyword in, and group of values, then colon, a statement or group of statement. So here is an example. Uh, for x is a variable, in is a keyword, then range 1 comma 5. This function actually return 1, 2 up to 5. So actually for x in 1, 2 up to 5, this function range function actually return these values. So for loop will be iterated or executed for x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, x is equal to 3, x is equal to 4, up to x is equal to 5. not x is equal to 6. In 6 is given here, that means this loop will be iterated up for x is equal to 1 to x is equal to 5. So what will be the output if we write this print statement here within the loop? For x in range 1 comma 6, print x squared is x star x. So what it display? For the first iteration, what is the value of x? X is equal to 1. So it will print 1 squared is 1 into 1, that is 1. Display this. Then for the next iteration, x is equal to 2. So it will display 2 squared is 2, 2 star 2, that is 4. Similarly, for 3, 4, 5, it will display up to x is equal to 5. This is the flow charts of for loop. Uh, there is a test condition, that is uh, if the values within the range, then the statements within the body of the loop will be executed. If it out of the range, it goes to the next statement after for loop. Here we use a range function, that is range start and stop. So if we set range 1 comma 10, it, it will iterate 1 to up to 9, not 10, 9, and increment its value 1 by adding 1, that is 1, then 1 plus 1 2, then 1 2 plus 1 3, like that. So 1 2 3 4 up to 9. If you want this increment in other way, suppose we want to increment that values by 2, 1, then 1 plus 2, that is 3, 3 plus 2, then 5, then 5 plus 2 7. In this way we can also use that using step value. So range the first value, and here we set 10. Suppose range 1 comma 10 comma 2, then the it will return 1 comma 3 comma 7, 1 comma 3 comma 5 comma 7 comma 9. This is the range of values. So the loop will be iterated for values 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So we can also do the increment of the values of variable by uh, some other values like 2, 5, etc., or minus 1. Here is an example for x in range 5 comma 0 comma minus 1. That means initial value of x is 5. Then 5 is decremented by minus 1. That is, next in the next iteration, the value of x is 4. It will print 4. The next iteration again 4 minus 1, that is 3. In the next iteration 3 minus 1 2 up to 1. Because 0 is given here, up to 1 this loop will be executed. Cumulative loop. Cumulative loop, this loop actually compute a value that is initialized outside the loop. uh, there is a variable, suppose we have initialized this sum variable by 0, and then using this loop it incrementally calculates its values. In each iterations the values of sum uh, is changed, and ultimately after exiting from the loop there is a values of sum. So this type of uh, loop is called this type of sum is sometimes called cumulative sum, and the loop is called cumulative loop. Now another loop is while loop. While loop, we is used when we don't know the number of iterations. It will be iterated until the conditions given in the while loop is true. We don't know how many times the loop will be iterated. It depends on the conditions. If the condition is true, then it will be iterated. So this is the syntax of while loop: while condition, and there is this statement or group of statement. If this condition is true, it executes statement or group of statement, and this is continued. When the condition goes false, it goes out of the loop. This is the example where number is equal to 1, while 1 less than 200 print number. So it will print 1, then number is equal to number star 2, that is the value of number value is changed. 1 into 2, that is current value of number is 2. So in the next iteration, 2 less than 200, yes, it will print 2. So in this way it iterates up to 128. After that, 128 is doubled, that is 256. 256 is less than 200, is false, it goes out of the loop. And this is the flow chart. There is a conditions of while statement. If it is true, then the statements that are in the body of the loop is executed, and then again goes to check the conditions. This is repeated. If the condition goes false, it goes out of the loop and go to the next statement after while statement. And there is some program that uses loops. For example, this program will print the odd number within a range. So range within a range, that is, you have to take the range. It's low value and high value. Low value will be stored in A, high value will be stored in B. So suppose it is 1 and it is 10. So you want to display all the values, all the odd number between 1 and 10. So use a for loop for I in range A comma B plus 1. Why B plus 1? Because if you set B, if the value of B is 10, it will be 11. So the loop will be iterated for I is equal to 1 to I is equal to 10. So for each I value, it tests if the number is odd. How can we check? If the remainder is not is equal to 0, then it will print that value. So it will print all the odd numbers within the range A and B. This is another example, but time is very limited, so skip that. And the break statement. Break statement is also called loop breaking statement. Suppose we want to exit from a loop for a particular condition is goes true, then we'll leave from the loop. So we'll use break statement. This is the syntax for while in sequence, and within the loop, if condition then break. That means this loop is iterated, and if the condition is true, then this break is executed. After break is executed, it will leave from the loop. Similarly, we can also use break in the while loop also. Why in case of while loop, this loop is iterated until the condition is true, but if in the body, if this condition is true, it execute break statement, and break statement leaves the control to the out of the loop. So this is called the break statement is a loop breaking statement. So for particular conditions, we want to uh, stop the iterations of the loop, we can use break statement. For example, here for I in range 5 means 0 to 0 colon 5. It also default value of first value is 0. So if I is equal to 3, break, print I. So it will iterate for I is equal to 1, 2, but for 3 it breaks. So it will display for 0, 1 and 2, and after that the value of becomes 3 and this condition is true. When this condition is true, it execute break statement and goes out of the loop, so other values are not displayed, that is 3, 4 values are not displayed. Continue statement, continue statement is to skip the current iterations of the loop, we use continue statement. For example, uh, suppose we want there is a loop for I in range 5, that is 0 colon 5. If I is equal to 3, continue. So for the first value of I is 0, so it will display 0. Next value is 1, it will display 1. Next value is 2, it will display 2. Next value is 3. But there is a condition I is equal to 3, continue. So this continuous statement is executed. It move the control to the check the conditions of the loops again, and then the start the next iterations. So it will not display 3, because after continue there is print statement. When continue statement is executed, move the control to the beginning of the loop where it start the next iterations with uh, I is equal to 4. So for I is equal to 4, it prints 4. So it skips the printing of value 3. Tuple. Tuple is another type of variable. Uh, Tuple is a compound type that contain many instance of item. That is, in case of integer floats, we can store single value. Tuple, we can store multiple values in a tuple. And how can we declare tuple here is this. Within the first bracket, we can write some values here. So v is a tuple. To print each values, uh, we use index of that. Index of this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So if you want to display, suppose this one, so you'll use print v1, so it will display 2.0. Similarly, if you want to display this one, you'll use print v4. We can also print a range of values v1 colon 4. Okay, so we can print values on after incrementing its index by 2. We can find out the length of the tuple using len functions. Another data type is list data type. List, uh, unlike sequence, list is mutable. That is, we can change the values of the list. The list can be declared as here. This is tuple, but list can be declared uh, using third bracket. L is equal to, within the third bracket, 12, comma 43, comma 17. But in case of tuple, t is equal to, within the first bracket, 12, comma 43, 7. So this is the difference. Tuple uses first bracket to define, and list uses third bracket to define. And uh, we can access the both tuple and list in a similar way using its index. The difference is that tuple is list are mutable, but tuple is not mutable. That means elements within the list may be changed, but elements within the tuple we cannot change. Um, Array, so we can also use array in Python, but the core part of the Python do not support array. So we have to import the array module using this from array import star. It will import array features into the Python programs. This is the general syntax to declare array. Array name is equal to array type code initializer. This type code actually define the type of the array elements. It is integer or float or others will be denoted by this symbol. For example, this I small I represent 2 byte integers. Okay, one example is given here. Uh, from array import star, it import the array features into the Python program. Then we declared an array here. Array1 is equal to array. This is the type code I indicating is a 2 byte integers. These are 2 byte integers. So we have created array with array element 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. Now we can also display that array using for loop for x in array 1 printf. So it will display all the elements of the array. Here we have displayed that. So these elements individually can be accessed using its index. If you want to display this element, we'll use array 1 within the third bracket. Its index is 0. Array 1, its index is 2. That means 0, 1, 2. It will display 30. So the difference between tuple list and array is the basic difference of tuple and list. As I said, that tuple is not mutable, but list is mutable. And array, if you want to work with large amount of data, it is better to use array. These are some dictionary sets. Now function sub function actually a modular block of code that will perform some specific tasks. So suppose we want to perform a specific task multiple times during our execution in the programs. So if we write uh, a function to perform that particular task and call that function multiple times, it will be more easy to write programs. Otherwise, we have to write the same block of code multiple times. Suppose we want to calculate NCR, so we have to calculate the factorial 3 times. So if there is a factorial functions that already we have created, we call this functions 3 times. Otherwise, we have to write the same block of code 3 times. So function in this way function actually reuse the uh, we can reuse the code without writing it multiple times. This is the syntax to declare a function. There is a keyword def, that is the abbreviated form of definition. Then we have to give the function name and the parameter list and colon, and then this is the body of the um, function. It either contain a statement or group of statement, and then return is optional. um, so this is the example. This is very simple function def print hello return. So it just print hello. and do not return anything. So we do not use return. Another one, uh, def. Name of the function is sum, and the parameter or arguments, there are two parameters or argument, arg1 and arg2. So it will take two arguments, add them, and then return sum. So this is another function that return the sum. Now we can implement factorial program using function def fact, and there is a parameter x. If x is equal to 0, then it will return 1. Factorial 0 is 1. Otherwise, f is equal to 1, and using a for loop, it calculates f is equal to x star I. That is it calculates factorial of that number and returns the values. So how can we calculate factorial? Suppose we want to calculate factorial of 5. So oh, we have to calculate 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. And that also we can say 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this loop does the same thing here. For I is equal to 1, for the first iteration, value of I is 1. So f is initialized as 1. 1 star 1 means 1. So for the first iteration, value of f is 1. In the next iteration, value of I is 2. So and value of f is 1. So 1 star 2, that means f is equal to 1 star 2. In the next iteration, I value of I is 2. So um, sorry 3. So f is equal to, f means 1 star 2 into 3. In the next iteration, value of I is 4. So f is equal to 1 star 2 star 3 star 4. Similarly, next iteration we obtain 1 star 2 star 3 star 4 star 5, that is 120. So in this way we calculate factorial. Now from the main program, we call that function. We take a number, an integer number, and call that function. A is equal to fact_n. So if we take 5 here, so fact5, it will return 120 and stored in variable a, and then that variable is displayed using print function. Factorial is 120. A recursive function is a function that called itself or call another function that eventually call that initial functions. So here is an example of recursive function. Uh, it also calculate the factorials. Uh, Here, uh, recursive function def fact is a recursive function. It has argument x. This function has a terminating conditions. If x is equal to 0, it will return 1. In the else part, there is a recursive form that x is equal x star fact x minus 1. So why? Suppose we want to calculate factorial 4. So fact 4 is equal to, we can write fact 3 into 4, means 4 star fact 3. Then uh, fact 3 will call fact 2 into fact 3. Fact 3 will call fact 2 into 3. Fact 1 will call fact 1 into 2. Fact 1 will call fact 0 into 1. 0 is the terminating condition here. It will return 1. So it return 1. Then 1 star 1 means 1. This 1 is this here. 1 star 2 is 2. Then this 2 star 3. That means 6, then this 6 into 4. That is 24. 24. So 24 is the answer. So in case of recursive function, any problem that we want to represent, implement using recursive function, we first represent that problem in recursive form, and there should be a stopping conditions. So this for calculating, if you want to calculate factorial, the recursive form is this: x is equal to fact, is equal to x star fact x minus 1 is the recursive form, and this is the terminating conditions when this call to itself will terminate, for which value the call to itself will be terminate. So here, if x is equal to 0, it will not call again the same itself, it will return 1. So in this way, if you want to represent any problem in recursive form, recursive functions, we have to represent it in recursive form with a terminating conditions. There is another program that will calculate GCD of two number using recursions. So GCD we know, so we should take two number A and B, and the terminating condition is here: if B is equal to 0, then the result is A. Otherwise, it calls again the same function with the values B comma A percentage B. That is, it calculate the remainder. A is divided by B and return the remainder of it. So B will be assigned to A and the remainder will be assigned to B. Here is an example. Suppose we take GCD 8 comma 6. So it will call GCD 6 comma 2. Why? B means here A is 8 and B is 6. So we have to call values B here 6 and 8 modulo 6. That is, we divide 8 by 6 and the remainder is 2. So 2 is assigned to B. So next step we call GCD 6 comma 2. Again same procedures. 2 is given here, and we can divide 6 by 2. The remainder is 0. So we call GCD 2 comma 0. Now B is equal to 0. We reach the termination condition because B is 0. So the result is 2. That is A. The result is 2. In this way, we can calculate GCD using recursive function. But time is over.
Yes, sir. Actually, time is nearly over, already over. The lunch break also. So please, you try to conclude. Okay, sir.
Okay, okay.
Don't mind that.
Yes.
I know
Uh,
there is a fast part, but
uh,
you should try with mind.
so in this lecture, we try to explain syntax and structure, control flow and functions. And due to the time limitations, we cannot discuss string, file, etc. If anyone want to learn more, they can learn object-oriented features, more detailed advanced libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib for data science. Small projects will also help. And uh, so these are the reference of some books, textbooks and reference books. Thank you. Any questions?
Ajay Babu.
Uh,
Okay.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir, for your insightful lectures. I think your lecture illuminating us, and we also learn a lot. And I think you teach us lucidly in every steps of Python languages. Uh, Now I am requesting the audience or participants uh, for questions, and I will take some questions from the audience, or uh, anybody can. Hello.
Yes. Dipannita ma'am, have you any question, Dipannita ma'am?
No question, sir, but I want to know that whether there is any hands-on training in the afternoon session.
Actually, a hands-on training program for the offline mode. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Dr. Nandi, again for such a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Dr. Nandi, one more question. Which one best book for the beginners? Because we are from a background from mathematics, so for the beginners, which one best? You have shown different books, but which one is easier and best to us?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Okay.
The reference book that is Programming in Python 3, Pearson Edison, is
Yeah.
very
Published
it,
in 2009.
uh,
This book is best.
uh, for
Okay, okay.
beginners.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, I have a query, sir.
Yes.
Actually, in when we find a factorial for the large values, actually in case of large values, we program it in C or C++. There is a statement we have to add long int. For the long integer, there is no any problem, sir.
For long integer.
For long integer, suppose I want to calculate the factorial of 1053, suppose. So is there any problem or not?
In case of Python programming languages, the size of integers or other data types is depends on the operating systems. Uh, it is either 32-bit or 64-bit operating systems. Then it has a range and it also has limitations. But um, in case of C programming or other programming languages, that the data type has precisely defined the size of the data types. But in case of Python programming, it depends on the operating systems. It is if it is 64-bit operating system, that it will uh, give more range of values.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank
Dr. Maiti as well as Dr. Nondi. Now this is the lunch break. Already it is over 8 minutes. Although I request all the participants, we shall meet in this same link at 1:30 p.m. Okay, so this is the lunch break.